my channel, and I am so happy to bring you guys my first Halloween makeup tutorial this year. If you are new, welcome, and my name is Kamila Bravo, but for this video you can call me Maleficent. And I wanted to create a badass makeup look that was only using affordable drugstore products. So here it is. I really hope that you guys enjoy it and love it. And if you do, please don't forget to leave me a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and give this video a thumbs up. Check me out on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And if you recreate this look, please tag me so I can see it and show some love. Let's get started. First thing that I started with was my brows, and I'm using here the Brow Ultra Slim from Maybelline in the shade medium brown, and you will notice is a little bit lighter than my actual brow color, and this is done on purpose because Maleficent in the movie has light brows, and I don't mean blonde but more on like a medium brown tone, even though she has super dark hair. And I'm going to be using the Maybelline Full Coverage Super Stay Concealer, and this is going to be the lightest shade of the spectrum, which is ivory. And I am using the super light one because I am going to make myself super pale, so this is just gonna blend very naturally with my skin tone. That's why I'm doing it up and bottom, to kind of like curl my brows and make them like super sharp, and also give it like that nice pointy kind of look to give it more of like an evil effect to them. And I went back with my angle brush and just like spread out the color and make sure everything is nice and blended out. So apply a little bit more of concealer onto my eye to be my eye base and kind of like make the eyeshadow pop a little bit more and also last all night. And for the eyes, I'm going to be using the MAC palette from Maybelline, which I feel like it was done perfectly for Maleficent. Like literally I didn't have to use another palette. So I'm using here this cool brown from the palette and applied it on my crease with this big fluffy brush, blending brush from BH Cosmetics. And I'm going to go back and forth. Maleficent has more of cool browns, but she also has a little warmth on her eye, so I just applied this warm brown right over that cool brown to just give it like a little bit of warmth, but not too much. It's still more on the cool tone of brown. And I'm also pushing this color all the way to the inner corner, almost touching, well, literally touching my nose. And this is done on purpose, so that way when I look down it looks like more deepened and more evil. And then I am going back to that same brown tone with this smaller brush, the cool brown tone, to basically define more the crease and give it more of like a deep set eye. And we're going back to the big fluffy brush to just remove any edges. And then I am using the darkest tone from the palette, and I am using this brush from Sigma, and I am literally doing like a kind of like a liner with it, and also bringing it out and creating like a V shape, bringing that shadow all the way to the center of the eye. As you can see, I'm pushing it inward to the center of the eye, and this is giving it a little bit more of like a smoky effect, but yet really concentrating it on the outer part of the eye. And I am moving on now to a black eyeliner, and I'm using this one from Wet n Wild. It's On Edge Longwear, and I am using this to line my eyes. And she doesn't have a very defined liner, so I am just gonna do a smoke out liner. So I start with this pencil and I blend it out with a pointy brush. This one is from Tarte, and you want to take your time. Start with a very small amount and very tight to your lashes, and use your fingers also to just blend any hard edges, and just go back with the brush. And we're going to, once you have it all smoked out, as you can see right here, I'm just going to add a little bit more definition with a liquid eyeliner, and this one is from Joah. And basically you just want to create like a very small liner, very tight to your lashes, like, and literally it doesn't have to be perfect because we're gonna go back and add a little bit of shadow. You can add a little bit of shadow over it, or you can add a little bit of pencil over it and literally blend it out. So that way it gives a more like gradient effect, and it's darker, and also this is gonna be covered with the lashes, but it's gonna give it a very cool effect. And you also can blend a little bit up to the corner of the eye, kind of like the outer V that we created, just to give it a nice touch and deepness. And then we're going to grab this bone tone with this flat brush. This one is from Motives, and I am basically applying it all the way from the inner corner to the middle of the eye. And as you can see, it's creating like a nice lit open space, and also just matte all over. She doesn't have any shimmer on her eye, and I'm using the black pencil to line my upper waterline, just so it gives it a better look once I put the lashes, and it hides the lashes a lot better. I'm using here the double 113 from Ardel. You pop them on and voila. Now I am using this brow gel. This one is from Sigma. It's not a drugstore, but you can just buy any drugstore light color. I just couldn't find one from like a drugstore brand, the one that I like to use. I like to use the fiber one from Maybelline. It's really good. And I applied it so that way my eyebrow color blend very well with the eyebrow pencil, because it was just looking weird. So now I'm moving on to foundation. I actually applied this foundation, the Super Stay from Maybelline, in the shade 110 all over my body and my face, but my camera didn't record that part because I didn't play spray by accident. I thought it was recording, so I apologize, but basically just apply this foundation all over your face and body. And I am grabbing this highlight and contour stick from Rimmel London, and I am going to start contouring. So I wanted to start with a cream product so it blends very well with the skin and it does look natural instead of just going with bronzer. And I am just literally drawing, as you can see, the line kind of like where you apply the bronzer, but bringing it down to the mouth all the way down to the chin, and just blended it out with a small brush. The brush that I was using, it didn't work too well for this. It was a little bit too stiff, so I switched it, but I used also my beauty blender to blend it out. I am adding a little bit more to the corners, and now I am carving everything because she has very defined features. So you want to make sure that you really contour. You really want to make sure that your jawline is very defined. Mine is not, because I have a little bit of fat cheeks. I have a little bit of meat there, but I am defining my jawline, and also I added a little bit more on the contour line and just blended it out with this amazing brush from Huda Beauty. I liked it a lot better. It blended out so much better. This is actually the contour brush from Huda Beauty. So basically you blend this out, and once you're done, I just decided to apply the excess right on my forehead. I don't know why, just a little bit, kind of like to give it a little bit of depth and just highlight the center of the face. And now I am grabbing the same concealer that I used earlier and basically highlighting now. So I am highlighting, and what it does is it's gonna bring the contour line that we created a lot more, and it's gonna give her a lot more whiteness and highlight in the center of the face, because as you can see, she has very defined cheekbones, but the problem is that she has prosthetics, and I couldn't find prosthetics, so I'm doing it with makeup. So I basically just, as you can see, I draw that line of concealer there, and I didn't blend it all the way, so that way it gave it like a very highlighted effect. And now we're setting everything with the translucent powder from Rimmel London, and we're going to go back to deepen that contour line. So I'm gonna use the same palette for my eyes. I'm gonna use it for the face, and I am using that cool brown tone to carve those cheekbones a lot more, and also on the sides of my cheeks, because I want the apples of the cheeks to look forward, and I want the rest to kind of like be deepened, because as I told you, she looks more, everything it's more defined, the structure of her face. And now I'm moving on to the darkest tone of the palette with the smaller brush that I use for my eyes. I forgot what brand is this, but I'll share it with you guys in the description. And I'm going to basically apply this very precisely right underneath that more lighter brown to deepen it and making it synced in, so that way the cheekbones can pop a lot more, and it gives it like that effect that she has. I'm trying with makeup, it's not the same when you have prosthetics, but I'm trying to make it as if it's coming from within and not really drawn on the face. But I basically set everything. I put setting powder right on the highlight part that I did with the concealer, and then I did a little bit more underneath that contour, and I am basically now repeating every step on the other side So just enjoy it, and if you need a refreshment on what I did, here it is. Now for underneath my eyes, I am using the lighter tone of the palette and applying it from the inner corner to the outer corner. And I am using a little bit of the darker tone right just on the outer part, because hers is a little bit just of definition right there, but it doesn't go all the way in. And then I am bringing that lighter powder, that brown lighter tone, all the way down. You see where we did that shadow that it was touching the nose. Now I'm bringing it all the way down to the tip and using loose powder to define it. And now I took it off, and now I am using highlighter. This one is from Maybelline and is the lighter tone that they have in their Master Chrome, and I am applying this with my finger. And you want it to look very defined. You want it to look like there's two spots in your face and not blended into your skin, because that's gonna give it the effect of lifted and kind of like coming out, like that alien kind of effect. And now I put a little bit more of translucent powder right underneath that contour, and I'm using the darkest tone from the palette with this flat brush, the same that I use for my lid, and basically defining a lot more that contour, but I'm not gonna bring it all the way down. I'm gonna keep it up to where my cheekbone is underneath that highlight, to make that highlight pop a lot more. I really wanted it to stand out and give it that 3D effect, kind of like an alien effect. Trying to do prosthetics with makeup, but it's not gonna be the same, but it's as close as it can get. And now once you do that, you build it up little by little, and you use a blending brush to just blend the edges and bring it down a little bit more, kind of like to the mouth too, so it's not just a line, like a streak of a line there. And now we're moving on to lips, the final step. We're done with the skin. We're gonna let that powder sit there, and I am using here a MAC Cosmetics lip pencil. This is also the only other product that it was in drugstore, but you can use any red pencil. And also for her lips, she really has a very defined kind of like Cupid's bow, so I kind of like went ahead and defined a lot more. And I am using here the Super Stay liquid lipstick from Maybelline. I can't remember the name from the top of my head, but it will be in the description box, so make sure you check it out. But this is such a gorgeous color. I loved it so much. And I am taking off that loose powder, and look at that. We have come to an end of this makeup tutorial for Maleficent. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and don't forget to turn on your notifications bell so you guys know when I post my next video. And thank you so much for watching until the end. I see you on my next video. Bye.